Traders, it is Sunday, November 7th, and I'm doing this blog. I'm going to post it on my website and in YouTube here. I want to talk about this Tesla Motors. It's a swing trade I took, and I mentioned it to those people that are in my free trading room back when I got in. And the entry on this thing was right here above this bar at about $20.50 a share with a stop at 20, a 50-cent stop. And I want to kind of mark some areas off here, and I want to talk through this because a lot of people have mentioned to me that this was a great trade. Some people make great money on this, and so I thought I'd break it down a little bit more so that those of you guys watching this can kind of get an idea of what I look for and do this for yourself, hopefully with this example. Now, this was an IPO, and as many of you guys have heard, there were some people that were pretty negative on this and were shorting this stock. And what happened was it was going sideways here, and these lines here, these red lines I put on here, are pointing to these 2 days where we had bigger volume. In fact, 2.6, almost 2.7 million on this day, on the 16th of September, and 2.2 million here on the 30th of September. And what happens is this thing starts. It came down aggressively, popped back up, came back down, and then it started working its way back up. And then all of a sudden you had huge volume days with red bars and topping tail here, and another wide range red bar. These are very bearish candles and days. And typically when you have stuff like this, the stock will try to follow through, and it should. And a lot of people will get giddy if they're on the short side seeing these, thinking, okay, now this thing's going to start coming down. And what happened is the areas indicated on these blue lines show the lows. So this thing came down, and then the first time that this high volume day came up, it came down and could not take out this low. And then in lower volume, it came down and made a lower low, but there wasn't a whole lot of shorting excitement here, nor panic from the long side, as this thing came up at a very steep clip right back up into this area. Then we had our second day of selling, or a lot of volume, where the stock closed much lower than it opened. Another very bearish day. And so with this, one would expect that you would get follow through down, taking out these lows here and challenging possibly this area. Well, what happened? We went sideways in very low volume. No one was interested. It was just dead in the water. It came down and made a higher low here, from here to here. So another higher low. Then it came up and it came back down. And I just happened to be watching this thing, and I thought, you know what? If it takes out the high of this candle, I'm going to get on this thing. Got on in this area and actually added to my position here at $21 a share. Now, the stop was right below these lows, about a 50-cent stop, and your initial target really is this 22 area, and then again at 23. And so it hit 22 quite easily here on this day, which is a $1.50 profit per share. And then shortly thereafter here, on this day here, the big day where I liquidated everything I had on this, it hit the next target at 23, and then it went all the way up to 25, which was just short of this third target I had. But the 25 being a whole number there, I was just bailing right under 24.99, and just got out. So it was really a handsome trade. And so you can see how all the different components play into trading this thing and taking a trade that really has a great reward to your risk that you're putting out there, as well as the little nuances of what you're looking for with regards to dashed expectations and what traders are anticipating happening, and when they are disappointed, typically you get a nice run and you can really squeeze the shorts out in this particular case. Now, the one thing I do want to say is, remember, trading is an odds game, right? Not everything is going to turn out exactly as you want, so you have to have stops, and that's what you do. Is you go back to calculating your stop versus your target, and make it sure it's at least 2.5 to 3 times your risk, and then take the trade. Fire away, take the trade if you're seeing what you're seeing here. So hopefully you guys found this valuable. This was a huge trade. Now I'm completely out of this position, and I'm going to watch it for a possible pullback to get back on again if this thing continues higher. We could get more of a squeeze action, and this thing easily could take out these highs here at some point. I'm not saying it will, but I know for the intents and purposes of the trade that I took, I'm fully out, milked my profits, and now sitting back and going to keep this on radar for future possible trades on the long or short side if the opportunity presents itself. All right, guys, have a great week trading. If you got any questions, Tom at TomWillardTrading.com.